has agreed to a 5-year deal with the Suns, being reported. And in the wake of this news, the Lakers are now expected to hire Ty Lue. That is according to Woj. Now, Monty Williams is currently an assistant for the Sixers. He was the San Antonio Spurs vice president of basketball operations prior to joining Philadelphia. And before that, he's the associate head coach at Oklahoma City. And, he was also with Pelicans. So he does have a big resume, and he's going to the Suns, which was something that we all kind of felt was being delayed with the Lakers until after the Sixers series.
Right.
So that's no longer happening. So, Ty Lue. Now, I've always maintained that Ty Lue was the right person for this job.
Yeah.
You were just talking about how people feel like they're turning the franchise over to LeBron, which my question would, of course, be, didn't you do that when you brought LeBron here?
And let's be fair, they gave Kobe the franchise the last 2 years for the detriment of the growth of players.
Well, so that's the last part is the important part. They did give it to Kobe, but many feel that was a mistake, and it was detriment to the organization in the long run, and it's why they are in the situation that they are in now in reality. However, you brought LeBron here on a 4-year deal. It's LeBron James. You know what that comes with. Why would you not want to put everything around him that you could possibly put around him to make him successful? It's not like LeBron's getting any younger. We've already seen that this year with his first major injury. This whole idea that you don't want LeBron to control the franchise, like you just said, there are better Clevelands. It makes sense why Miami wouldn't do that. And Miami's not in a good place right now either.
And Miami has always been no state tax, aqua water. It's the only Eastern team that's a real free agent destination. We don't know New York is. We don't know NBA players love Boston or D.C. I would say today, with California's taxes, the LeBron dominates the franchise and the chaos, I'm not sure they're that far removed from Cleveland. I don't see all these guys lining up to want to play with the Lakers.
No, you don't have to play for the Lakers. You don't have to go to New York. You don't have to go to Miami to get a major contract and then get shoe deals and endorsements. It doesn't work that way anymore. So that whole appeal of the Lakers in Los Angeles, everyone comes here and trains in the offseason anyway. And you're traveling anyway. So what does it really matter? I understand, it's nicer to be in a place like Miami, obviously. It's nicer to be in a place like Los Angeles. But that's not the biggest factor anymore. To me, the Lakers should, of course, go all in with LeBron. That's what you were doing when you brought LeBron here. And for that matter, all of that talk about going all in with LeBron, Ty Lue won a championship in Cleveland. He beat the best regular season NBA team of all time on their home court. LeBron didn't do that by himself. And don't give me Kyrie. LeBron's not going to win a championship here without someone else. And you're not going to get Anthony Davis. So Ty Lue is the right person for this job. He always has been. Congrats to Monty Williams. That's what it is. So we'll see what happens in the next few days, but that's what's being reported. So Kawhi was sensational last night in the Game 3 loss to the Sixers. Siakam was pretty good too, but the rest of the Raptors, not so much. Kyle Lowry and Marc Gasol combined for 14 points on 4 of 16 shooting and have been pretty quiet all series. And after the game, Lowry said the team needs to help Kawhi.
As good as Kawhi's been, are you guys relying on him?
We got to help him. We got to help him. Myself, especially me. I got to help him score more. I got to help him on the floor. We all got to help him. He's playing unbelievable right now, but we're not giving him any help. I'm not giving him any help, and got to help him.
This series has been all Kawhi and Siakam for the Raptors.
This franchise, when Kawhi's not on the floor, they hit 39% of their field goals. 3 points, way worse. I know the media loves Toronto. It makes the media feel smart if you choose Toronto because they're analytical and we like Canada. This is a one-man team. This is Philadelphia, by the way, Embiid had a great night last night, Joey, but there were a couple of runs when Redick was hot and Butler was hot. I mean, Philadelphia threw everything at you and everything worked last night. And you're sitting there and basically Kawhi's got a cape on.
Well, it's kind of, the Raptors and Portland are kind of similar to me. And that's really kind of what you felt, like this great regular season team. Now you have Kawhi. This is the piece that you needed to put you over the edge. But you still need everybody else to contribute. And you saw what happened the other night when everyone contributes, even if Damian Lillard didn't go off. He only had 14 points. The rest of the team contributed. So they were able to get the win.
Toronto's guys aren't contributing.
It's all Siakam and Kawhi. Finally, James Harden suffered an eye injury in Game 2, but is not in any danger of sitting out Game 3. He said he's still experiencing some pain, but the vision in his left eye is improving, and he had this response when he was asked if he, the picture's really bad, if he plans to play in Game 3.
Pain gone away? No, still tough, especially when, bright lights, but I can see you out a little bit better, so that's all that matters.
Will you practice today?
Yeah.
And as far as the next game, you're good to go?
I mean, if I play barely saying last game, what makes you think I'm going to sit out game 3?
His eye still looks really bad.
Yeah.
But this is look, I don't know how well he's seeing. Obviously, you anticipate this would be a problem considering the fact that, you need to see the basket in order to shoot. But he's saying he is right, though. He did play through it in game 2.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Steph had a dislocated finger. You get to playoffs and all these professional sports, nobody's healthy. Everybody's worn down. I mean,
people play through dislocated fingers pretty often. I would say you probably need to see.
God, the NBA needs Houston to win tomorrow night so badly.
I'm so glad you're coming around to conspiracy theories. It's great.
I'm going to talk about that top of next hour. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Line.
Former
News.
New York Times sports writer, now radio show The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio, the voice of NBA at our network, Chris Broussard. Let's bring him on. Okay, let me just start with this. What makes a good TV show is personality, talent, and a little bit of a hot mess. Philadelphia is so much fun to watch. I know the rest of the country, they're not a national topic for a lot of shows. I love watching them play. They got dysfunction. They got baby Shaq. They got Butler's ego. But when I watch this series, Toronto's a nice story. They got one stud. Doesn't it feel like Philadelphia's got significantly longer, more athletic, more talented guys?
There's a couple things. One, somebody asked me just earlier today, who would be my pick for the finals? Just the most exciting finals. Yeah. The most fun. And I said Golden State and Philadelphia.
No question.
It would be fun to watch. I don't think Philadelphia could beat them, but it would be exciting and fun. No question.
Philadelphia is a less refined, less mature, less buttoned-up Golden State.
Yeah, and you mentioned the maturity. That's the one question I had about the Sixers coming into the playoffs was, are Embiid and Simmons mature enough yet to win a big series? Embiid showing me a lot, I mean, obviously playing-wise, but just mental toughness to play through this injury. So I'm with you. And look, their starting 5 is arguably the second most talented in the league behind Golden State.
I think it is.
Yeah, so they should beat Toronto, if they play to their potential. I question Brett Brown's coaching, but credit him. He's made some great adjustments. He put Tobias Harris on Marc Gasol.
Yep.
They haven't figured out how to exploit that. Toronto hasn't figured out how to exploit, Ben Simmons in the half court not being an offensive threat. So I think if they face Boston, Philadelphia down the road, that'll be an issue for them. But look, here's the thing about Toronto. Number one, let's just face it. They're soft. And it's not Kawhi Leonard. They were soft before Kawhi got there, and they're still soft. He's not soft, but what is going on? I mean, this is a soft team. It's been that way for the last 5 or 6 years.
Thank you. And by the way, I love Canada.
Canada's soft.
They're nice.
I like visiting too, but it's soft. All right, Drake is a dope rapper. He's a little soft. All right, he's a great rapper and one of the best. But I'm just saying.
Hey, listen, they shrink, and they do. First of all, LeBron was the meteor that led to their extinction in the playoffs, and now Joel Embiid is just intimidating them.
Look, and here's the thing: they're making it so easy.
No kidding.
For Kawhi Leonard to go to the Clippers or wherever he wants to go. And here's the thing, too, Colin. Shame on Jeannie Buss if she's not on the phone calling Masai Ujiri right now.
Now, tell our audience who that is.
That's the president of the Toronto Raptors.
Very respected
One of the
guy.
best executives in the NBA.
Smart dude.
She needs to be talking to him. Forget going to dinner with Magic. Call Masai Ujiri. And I know he loves Toronto, but I also know he wants to win at a high level. And you got to be sitting there looking at this like,
Fred VanVleet, listen.
My boys are shrinking, they keep shrinking year after year.
I think they're just, I think also, for years and years, the Boston Red Sox would shrink in the postseason. And then all of a sudden you got Manny and Kurt Schilling, and these two sort of transformative personalities put the franchise on their backs and said, Schilling and Manny are like, no. We're better than the Yankees. And sometimes it takes a transformative personality in a locker room. Well, Kawhi is not a transformative personality. No. He's just a really good player.
Right.
So the reality is Toronto's not a free agent destination. There's about 6 of them in the NBA. Maybe 4 to 6.
That's what they were so fortunate to get DeMar DeRozan to stay. Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Chris Bosh. Look, they will, and I'm joking about Canada and Drake and all that, but they will have a hard time.
Yes.
Getting American free agents to go there.
Of course.
It's just as simple as that. It's a great city, but it's not American. When you're there, you feel it.
Yeah, and it's also cold, and it's isolated, and it's expensive, and that's the reality. Vancouver had a franchise. I think Vancouver's the most beautiful city in North America.
Agreed.
I go there like every other year, and the players didn't want to play there. Right. You're like, food, city, sites, money, facilities, great. They didn't want to play there. Let me say this about Embiid, though. And I've said Philadelphia just loves me as a city, Cleveland and Philadelphia. But I've said this. I can feel with the Sixers a lot of Oklahoma City. And they had choices. They had Harden, they had Westbrook, and they had Durant. And they chose Westbrook over Harden. Mistake is it was becoming a shooters league. They didn't actively choose Westbrook over Durant, but Durant felt that way. They made the wrong choice, and now they're a one-and-done franchise. Philadelphia's got 4 guys. They all want max money. Tobias isn't good enough to get it. Butler's got an attitude, I'd be worried. Embiid's got a health issue. And Ben, I'd give it to him, but he's got to be able to shoot. Philadelphia keeps thinking they got this huge window. Chris, I don't think they do. I think these guys are going to start peeling off.
Well, we know the window definitely is about 2 or 3 years. Now, if Embiid gets his health in order, it could be much longer. Hopefully he will for the sake of us as NBA fans.
What about Butler?
Look, Butler is great. He is great. He solved their problems down the stretch, their execution problems, but I still would be hesitant to turn the franchise over to him. And you have to let this play out. If they get to the NBA Finals, then I feel better about bringing back this team as it is.
What if they beat Toronto and then lose to either Milwaukee or Boston? What would you do?
Well, I'm not trading Embiid. I know you've been on the trade Embiid this summer thing. There's no way. I'm riding with him as long as I can. Now, if next year, health-wise, he falls apart and it looks like, man, we just can't count on him, that's another story. But after this, I'm not trading him. What I'm doing is I am getting him, and I know it's not only their decision, he's got to be involved with it, but getting him on a better nutrition program, getting that weight down, because a lot of people there feel like his knee problems are related to he's overweight and out of shape.
Well, that was Shaq's issue in L.A. They just felt he was too heavy.
Yeah, and Shaq wasn't, I don't know that Shaq was this big when he was younger at this age, because he wasn't slim ever, but he wasn't the Shaq we remember in L.A. at a young age. So I'm working with Embiid on his body, on his work ethic. You know, if he keeps working on his jump shot, as I'm sure he will, his three-pointer, sky's the limit for that guy. So there's no way I'm trading him right now, especially in this league where he has no peer. He has no peer. I love Nikola Jokic. He's a great center, but he has no peer at the center position when he's healthy. So I'm not trading that guy. That gives me a difference maker in this league of a bunch of shooters.
Okay, so I had this conversation with my wife last night. She doesn't like sports. She used to be in HR. And so we're sitting there talking, and we're watching this game, and I said, this guy's unbelievable, but I think they should trade him. And now, again, my wife's not a sports fan, so she's not emotionally connected to this stuff. It's just all common sense to her. And I said, what if you had an employee when you were in HR, you hired him, and for 2 years he couldn't show up for work? She'd be like, well, he's a liability. And I said, Embiid. And she said, well, did he get healthier? I said, yeah, kind of, but he just missed 14 of 24 games after the All-Star break. He missed playoff games last year, this year, and he needs 6 treatments a day to get on the floor. And she said, well, yeah, that's you can't build around that as an employee base. If you just take the emotion out of it,
after what you're seeing right now, after what you saw last night, you ready to trade him?
Okay, after what I